Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. In this video we're going to take a look at a simple accessory I built for the Commodore 64 that will allow us to replace the original wired joystick with up to 2 modern Bluetooth controllers. Besides the issue of being wired, there are 2 main problems I have with the original joystick. First of all, the joystick is rather stiff, which means I have to hold the base firmly while playing, while also being careful not to accidentally press the fire button, which always strains my hand after a few minutes. Second, many platformer games let you shoot with the fire button and jump or crouch by pushing the joystick up or down, which makes it very hard to move left and right precisely while jumping or crouching. I would rather control a game with a regular D-pad, fire with A or B, and also map joystick up and down to additional controller buttons so that I can jump and crouch using my right hand. If we look at the C64 service manual, we see that the control ports are connected in parallel with some of the keyboard lines, columns for port 2 and rows for port 1. These lines are normally pulled up by the CIA chip, and all the joystick does when pressing a button is connect one of these lines to ground. Therefore, I decided to build an internal add-on board that sits between the motherboard and the keyboard and is able to control the appropriate lines when a Bluetooth controller is used, while still retaining full functionality of both the keyboard and the original wired joystick. I used the cheap ESP32 dev kit to provide Bluetooth connectivity thanks to the brilliant BluePad32 library by Ricardo Quezada. The ESP listens to the Bluetooth controller inputs and drives the appropriate control lines low through a simple open collector driver. While in principle I only needed to connect the ESP to the 5-column and 5-row lines necessary to provide dual controller support, I decided to give the ESP access to all lines instead. This will allow some limited access to useful keyboard keys like Shift, Run and Space, which will allow us to launch games directly from the controller instead of having to type on the physical keyboard. We can see that the controller pairs and connects to the ESP32 as soon as the computer is turned on. I mapped the Shift plus Run key on the select button to start the tape, and the Space key on the start button to load the program from tape. As intended, the joystick is mapped to the controller's D-pad, and the fire button is mapped to the B button. Joystick up is mapped again to the A button and joystick down is mapped to R2, so that I can jump and crouch using my right hand while still moving left and right with the D-pad. As mentioned earlier, both keyboard and the original joystick are still fully functional, even when a Bluetooth controller is connected. Here I'm playing a 2-player game with 2 Bluetooth controllers. Player 1 is by default assigned to port 2 on the C64, which is the default port for most games, while player 2 is assigned to port 1. Pressing the home button on either controller will swap the ports, effectively turning player 1 into player 2 and vice versa. The idea at this point is to design a proper PCB and enhance the basic circuit to allow full keyboard control, so that one can use 2 Bluetooth controllers and a Bluetooth keyboard at the same time to control the C64 completely wirelessly. The source code for this project that I decided to name C64-Blue is available on GitHub. The link is in the description. Anyway, I hope you found this video interesting, thanks again for watching and see you all next time.